Alright guys, today I want to talk about cameras. The car that I'm in is a 2019 BMW X3 M40i. So many cars in the lineup have these camera systems available. Depending on the model and the model year, some of the functionality might be different. I'll try to point out nuances where it could potentially be different, but in this car, right here in the center console, you have this P with these signal markings here, and then what's supposed to be an object or an obstacle. And then this button here, this is a camera, and then you have this kind of rectangle image in the upper right corner of that icon. So these two buttons actually bring up camera options. Now if you go in reverse, automatically your backup camera does pop up, which you probably have noticed. And if your car is equipped with a top-down view, you can also get that to pop up automatically. Some previous models, earlier model years, if you had the top-down view, you could potentially have that default on when you go in reverse, as opposed to having just the rear view camera come on. So do note that. It should usually recall the last camera that you pulled up when you went in reverse. So say if you have like I think it was like 14, model year 14 cars that had this, keep that in mind. But for these newer cars, when you go in reverse, you hit the backup camera automatically, and you can get this top-down view as well. Let me put it on here so you can see. So I'll give it a press. See on the right side, we got the rear view camera, and on the left side, you have this aerial view, the top-down. The top-down image, I get this question a lot. It's not like a Google Maps or satellite zoomed in image. It's just an illustration of a car, and then they drop it in the middle of these 4 camera images from the outside of the car. So it is real surroundings of the vehicle. It's real time. You'll notice there's actually lenses around the car. So you have a front camera and a rear camera, which most people know about. And then under your side view mirrors, there's actually camera lenses under those that are taking a picture of the ground as well. It is good to note the placement of the lenses just in case the mud gets kicked up or snow or something gets kicked up and covers the lens and you can't see. You know at least where the lenses are, so you can swipe it. Do use like a microfiber cloth or something that's not going to potentially scratch, like a cotton towel that could scratch the lens and then could affect your view. But over here on the left, like I said, the aerial view. This car is equipped with the capability to actually rotate around the vehicle. So right now you see it's on auto, so it's obviously just automatically pulling up this image, but I can actually use the controller, the iDrive controller, or I can use the touch screen and select one of these camera images here. And you'll notice the image over here will reflect my selection. So like I said, these are real images from around the car. This is just an illustration that's dropped in the middle of these images to give you an idea. See, once I did this top camera here, I can actually rotate at different various positions from around the car if you so choose. But I'll go back to auto for that. This image here, again, is equipped with the doors opening to kind of give you an estimate if you're going to hit an object or maybe a vehicle next to you. Over here, as far as the options go, this vehicle is equipped with a parking assistant feature. Right here, the brightness and the contrast. So a couple different settings you can use to change the actual appearance of the image on your iDrive screen. This right here turns off the guidelines here. So if I didn't want the lines on, I can just uncheck the box, turn them off, turn them on. And to touch on what these lines actually do, the green is the current path of your wheels and tires. So you'll notice as you turn the steering wheel, that'll change the trajectory of your tires. And then these red lines here, these are if you were to turn your wheel all the way to lock, whether it be all the way to the right or to the left, that's the path that you would take. The other checkbox here we have is the obstacle marking. So as you pull up to an object, obviously you probably have heard the beeps when things get closer, but in a rear view camera that's equipped with the park distance control, if obstacle marking is on, then what it'll do is it'll label the object that the system is actually picking up with kind of a color-coded square to correspond to how far away the object is from the bumper. So you might notice as things get closer to your bumper, it turns green, and then even closer, it turns yellow, and then when it's really close to your car, then it turns red. And then this last one here, again, this is dependent on your model. The towing view. This will help you line up the, you know, if you're trying to line up a trailer or something, you can back in and get this aligned up to the trailer. But again, that's not a standard feature on every single car, so do check your vehicle's equipment. And then this last option here that you see, this is a, they call for the car wash. So if you have to line up your tires with the tracks for a car wash, this gives you that front view where you can get your tires lined up straight. And this last one here is just for settings, this little gear. So certain features can be enabled or disabled depending on your preferences. But all right, and then the other button that we have down in the center console, like I mentioned, is this camera button below it. Now if we give this button a press, what it does is it'll bring up a wide angle, a panoramic shot of either the front or rear, depending on either your current driving gear or the last driving gear that you had the vehicle in. So I'm not moving right now. The last gear that I was in was reverse, so that's why it's pulling up the rear. But you'll notice here I'll put the car in drive and then put the car in drive. Then I'm going to press this button again. Now you'll notice it's a panoramic shot of the front. So this panoramic view is beneficial in a couple of popular scenarios. One would be is if you're parked and it's unclear if it's safe to pull out, either reverse or forward in a certain situation where maybe you have a couple of big trucks on either side of you and you can't see if it's clear. This will give you a wide angle view so you can see around objects and know if it's clear. And you'll also get little alerts if something or someone is coming on either side of the vehicle. You'll notice this little kind of yellow flashing alert to pop up and let you know that it's not clear or not safe. But the visual is pretty clear too. It's a high resolution camera, so you can kind of tell that on your own. But beneficial also if you pull up to maybe an intersection or you know, a street ends and there's a monument sign on the corner, or maybe cars parked on the corner and you can't see if it's clear to pull out into the street. This will allow you to see at the nose of the vehicle, and you can see if it's clear to go. And depending on the model year and the vehicle, you might, this one here, like I have the front camera up and I turn, you notice I'm getting the trajectory, and actually the camera itself is moving left and right. So this is on some of the newer vehicles. You know, if you had like a 2014 3 Series or something, it's not going to be able to do this. But also note the newer vehicles also have the capability of actually just bringing up the camera all on its own. So if you're moving at a slow pace, it can actually just bring the camera up for you automatically, and just assume you need to see some additional angles to safely park the car, maneuver the car in like a parking lot situation. But that's not true for every model that has these cameras, so do keep that in mind. But yeah, if you guys have further questions, let me know in the comments below, or you can contact us at the email address. But otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next video.